So we're going to go through these recordings and I will say just what I hear from the words said. That's it. I'm not going to add anything, take anything away. We're just going to go with the words.
Diane's on the call, right, Diane? Yeah. Okay. I got her to tell me the truth. Tell me the truth. And she did. No, wait.
Just rewind. Make sure you hear that.
Now, Diane's on the call, right, Diane? Yeah. Okay. I got her to tell me the truth. Tell me the truth. And she did. No, wait. Diane, please. Let me just. All right. From my perspective, okay, please. From my perspective. Okay. And she caught me up. And I think what happened, there's a lot of things that we can. Damn it. Well, now, Diane, I'm all worried that you're worried about what I'm gonna say. So no, I don't.
Right. So straight away, Diane comes in trying to stop what she's saying. She has to reiterate to her friend, this is just from my perspective, just let me say it, right? Almost like pleading with her, just let me say it. And it's the exact same experience that a lot of us have with her on YouTube. You cannot go in a comment section. You cannot express yourself without it being controlled, even if it's slight criticism, right? And even here, we can hear Wendy trying to tell what Diane's already told her. And before she's even got going, she's trying to stop her from telling it in her own words. She's already trying to take over, take control, okay? Straight from the beginning. Then we hear Wendy saying, oh, do you know what? Now I'm all worried. I'm going to say it wrong, right? Now this is going to get tricky how to explain this, right? But when you are with somebody that is overbearing or narcissistic or controlling or intimidating, if you feel intimidated, it does make you anxious and a bit worried and a bit nervous to say what you want to say, even if you want to repeat their own words back that they've just said, right? She now, quickly, that's all it took, her friend to keep cutting her off, sorry. And there's Wendy. Oh, well, now I'm all worried, right? So, like, that tells me that this has been going on a long time. Whatever this is, which I know what I think it is, but whatever this is, right? This has been going on a long time because she basically gives up early and says, do you know what, I'm too worried how I'm going to say it now because I'm scared I'm going to say it wrong, right? If you're friends with a healthy person, you don't feel scared. You don't have to walk on eggshells. You don't have to monitor what you say or hide certain parts of what you think or feel. You don't have to do that with a friend. A healthy friend allows you to go to them with whatever it is they want, whether it's a criticism, a critique, or an issue, right? If you're feeling nervous, see, I'm not saying this is this, but for example, within narcissistic abuse, right? Walking on eggshells, we know, is a huge red flag that the person that you're dealing with is toxic. It's an indicator and a solid sign because healthy people don't make you feel like you need to walk on eggshells. So we're already off to a rocky start for me, okay? Let's keep going.
Don't you?
And go.
Damn it. Well, now, Diane, I'm all worried that you're worried about what I'm gonna say. So no, I don't mute. You don't have to mute. I want people to understand the truth, though, the reality, right? Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And so the reality is that you will have your final documents prepared by tomorrow. Right. The reality is that a lot of money on the channel, or I'll even just say, a lot of money on the channel went to St. Jude through donation, through merch, and other charities.
A lot of money through the channel went to St. Jude through the merch to other charities.
To St. Jude, there have been other...
Just double check what she said.
Just say, a lot of money on the channel went to St. Jude through donation.
A lot of money on the channel went to St. Jude through the donations.
Through merch. And other charities.
And other charities.
In addition to St. Jude, there have been other charities, Van Lufa's granddaughter, and you know, maybe others. A lot of money went to help people in the community. A lot of money went back into the channel in the form...
It's all right her saying this, right? Notice it's Wendy saying it. It's not Diane. And we've seen a lot lately of Randy or Wendy trying to speak for their friend and either being shushed, right, or trying to speak for her. She'll either shush them, right, and tell them don't say anything, but then when they are on panels or on lives, they do speak for her. Even if she's there, they'll speak for her. Like the other day, you could hear Diane slighted Wendy, and you immediately hear Randy being the one. She's like the one that runs around clearing up the mess or trying to make the mess a bit more presentable so it doesn't look as messy, right? That's what that reminds me of off the bat.
Various other things.
And this, her doing the talking, notice, bizarre, should be Diane doing this. So the very fact that Wendy's doing it and also lets us know that she's worried about doing it in the right way, there are issues there, I'm telling you now. There's something.
And some was also kept.
And I will figure it out.
Very little, probably, right, Diane? That's what you said? Yeah. I
Repeat that.
Into the channel in the form of various other things. And some was also kept. A lot of money went to help people in the community. A lot of money went back into the channel in the form...
But she hasn't seen anything. She hasn't seen anything. Because when this recording was done, right, she was still coming out and telling us that she hadn't seen anything. Because this was before the breakup, before the divide between Diane and Wendy. So even there, behind the scenes, she's like trying to smooth all this mess out, smooth the wrinkles out, keep people convinced that her friend hasn't done anything wrong, while she's telling them that she has done something wrong. Because listen.
Of various other things, and some was also kept, but very little, probably, right, Diane? That's what you said?
Very little, probably, right, Diane? Is that what you said? Very little, probably. So you don't know how much it is, okay? Very little, probably, Diane, is that correct? So she starts off the statement stating it as fact. Very little. Then goes to probably, unsure, and then goes to questioning Diane. Is that right? Okay, so she knows nothing.
Yeah.
She hasn't seen anything.
But it doesn't matter. Who cares? Who cares?
But it doesn't matter who cares. Who cares? That's Wendy. It doesn't matter who cares. Who cares? Are you having a laugh?
It's your money. Some. Who cares?
It's your money. Some. Who cares? But it isn't her money, Wendy. It isn't her. How is it her money when we, as in generally, not specifically me, because we gave it to her under the belief that she sent it all to St. Jude, right? So how's it her money? Because she says, if you super chat me, I send it all to St. Jude. Ding, with the halo, right? If you super chat me, I send it to St. Jude. But no, she keeps some. So why didn't she ever just tell people that? If this is all okay and there's nothing shady, then why didn't she tell the people that initially that she would be keeping a portion of it? Because I'm damn sure people wouldn't have super chatted as much as they did. They get carried away. They get carried away in the atmosphere and they figure to themselves, it's all right that I drop another 10 or another 20 or another 50 or another 100 because it's going to charity at the end of the day and I'm having a good time. It's a plus, okay? It's like a win-win. You're not just giving your money away to a stranger. It's actually going to a charity, okay? So it does encourage people to drop the coin. Of course it does. And she knows that because that's why she said it.
Right? Who cares? It doesn't matter because, right, the expectations of people think
I don't give an F for, and who cares? Have you taken a look outside of your bloody Discord and had a look at the crowd? There's over 1k of them care. There's a lot of us care. There's your own friends that care. What does she mean, who cares? How can you be so flippant about somebody that's been taking money by deception? How? Where are your morals and your ethics? And her keeps saying it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. Let's just hear it again without me interrupting.
Who cares? I don't give a fuck, right? Who cares? It doesn't matter because, right. The expectations of people thinking that I make a shitload of money every month and don't. The expectation that you're responsible to matter because, right. The expectations of people thinking that I make a shitload of money every month and don't.
The expectation of the people thinking I make a ton of, I can't tell what she says, but thinking I make a ton of money every month. I don't. That's what she said.
Expectation that you're responsible to give away every single penny that you scrape up on YouTube is also ridiculous.
The expectation that you should give away every single penny that you scrub up on YouTube is absolutely ridiculous. It's not ridiculous when on the outside, right, she's telling everybody, donate to me and I'll send it to St. Jude. Do you know who you should be blaming for that expectation, Wendy? You know who you should be blaming for it? Her. She put that expectation on herself, in her own words. None of us put that expectation on her. She did. You know why? Because she enjoyed the glory and the adoration and the perceived respect and notoriety it gave her. Because even though her channel was a pretty much trash everybody channel, right? At least they sent their money to St. Jude. She enjoyed the perceived prestige. Saying that or having people know that about St. Jude afforded her. She enjoyed it, right? Any expectation didn't come from anyone in the community. It came from herself. When she said, if you give me my super chat, I will send it to St. Jude. And Wendy has told me that she doesn't want her money. She doesn't want to split it. She wants her portion to go to St. Jude too. You both put that expectation on yourselves. Nobody else put that expectation on you. Every live of every day of every week over the last 3 years, you have persistently and consistently put out that expectation to the people. Because you've kept telling them, don't super chat me and it all goes to St. Jude. Super chat me and it all goes to St. Jude. Nobody else put that expectation on you but yourself. So I kept some, but that doesn't matter. But all the money allocated went to St. Jude, which is exactly what she said in her live the other night, her first appearance after all this fiasco, right? Her first appearance. That's exactly what she said on there. And this is exactly what she's saying in private too.
Legal documentation of that from St. Jude. Right. No loss of info. Okay. And all monies allocated to St. Jude went to St. Jude. Right. And that's why I will have legal documentation of that from St. Jude. Right. No loss of
I will have legal documentation for that from St. Jude. Well, whenever you're ready, show us all. Legal documentation. See, do you know, right, that the greatest thing about all of this is the confusion and lack of information, like specific information, for a task so simple as to collect money and simply flush it off to St. Jude. The very fact that there's all this confusion and chaos and lack of information around it, surrounding it, right? That's your biggest red flag, right? Because confusion and chaos only exists where there's something wrong, where there's something not known, where there's something being hidden, where there's something being, where there's deception. You know yourself. Between people, it's clear. We're clear, right? Why is there so much confusion surrounding this? I'll tell you why. Because the confusion, serves the narcissist in this mess. Within all this chaos and fuckery, yeah, there is one. What? I'm going to take these motherfuckers down. Oh, yeah.
So listen.
You're taking yourself down, lady.
So, no one ever is going to be told the details of how much money per each of those categories. No one is going to know how much went to St. Jude unless you already know. What you know is what you already know. That's it. Consider that it. That's all. What you know.
Have you heard how she speaks? What you know about whatever's gone where is what you know, and that's all you're going to know, and that's it. Why are you working so hard to stop your friend having to tell her people in this chat, in this private conversation, what really happened? Why are you working so hard to cover this up? And this has bothered me since you've started going live. Your first live was alarming, Wendy, all right? Mentioning the money on a community pot. That was just next level insane to me, right? Clearly someone that's not getting what's going on. Then your lives after that have been strange, to say the least. Very strange, off kilter. You keep talking about moving on before anyone even knows what we've gone through. You don't walk away from a 4-year friendship and be totally okay and just ready to move on. No, you don't. There's a grieving process. There's feelings involved. There's emotions. It bothers me that you don't seem to have any. And why would you not have questions? Why? Who can go through all this confusion, right, and be a direct member involved in it, right? Because she's as close to the chief in charge of all this chaos as anyone can get, but she doesn't have any questions and her head's straight. This confirms to me half of what I've suspected. That's what this does.
And then going forward, no other category. She's not going to tell. She's not going to tell people how much she kept. She's not going to tell that. The mistake was, and this was our fault, is that we painted Diane into this picture of Diane has to give away every single thing that she owes. And all this time,
You didn't paint a picture that Diane had to give everything she makes, okay? You, both of you, enjoyed being the moral authority around the community, the ones that give money to sick children, okay? You enjoyed what came with that, okay? You enjoyed it. Point blank, yes you did.
Has been doing, these giveaways and helping these people behind the scenes, all the things that we have seen, right?
Helping people behind the scenes, all the things we have seen. Well, if she was helping people behind the scenes, how would we have seen it? We don't even know who these people are she's helped behind the scenes, right? We don't need names and personal details, but a screenshot of a PayPal of her sending a few £100 to wherever she sent it would be perfectly reasonable for us to ask to see if she's apparently been helping people in the community. But of course, just like the receipts, we get nothing.
Doing that, I haven't been helping her. I haven't been giving her any money to do that. She's giving away money to people in the community, and people are mad because it's not every single penny to St. Jude. You're right, okay.
For me, that right there, total manipulation to the people listening to this call. Total manipulation. She has changed exactly what's happened, reframed it so it sounds nicer, and thrown it back at them. This is what's going on. No wonder them lot over on that side have kept coming out, if this is what they've been listening to behind the scenes and been being pumped with, right? And used as flying monkeys, because they have. You have had them swallow this hogwash and keep coming out to defend Diane. Fighting. 2 of them were crying the other week. And another 2 have deleted all the videos on the channel. They're that bloody scared or whatever, right? 2 have deleted all the videos on the channel. They're that bloody scared or whatever, right? This is manipulation.
You got us.
Let's rewind it.
She's giving away money to people in the community.
she's giving away money to people in the community. Okay, there's your guilt trip.
And people are mad because it's not every single penny to St. Jude. You're right, okay.
And people are mad because it's not every single penny to St. Jude. Can you see how that's been reframed? From Super Chat Me, 100% goes to St. Jude. I don't take anything out of it. To this. She helps people in the community and people are mad because not every penny went to St. Jude. Do you see the manipulation in how that story's been turned around? Okay, for the purpose of convincing the people behind the scenes that she still had fighting on her side. Right, I'm just going to pause and go back with part 2. I'm so sorry. I have to do these videos in 20-minute increments. Otherwise, it just won't. I just have a hard time having to clip and then, oh, whatever, the editing. This is crazy.
You got us, then. You're right. That's it.
Total guilt trip.
And people are mad because it's not every single penny to St. Jude. You're right. Okay, you got us. You got us, then. You're right.
It's like, oh, you got us. You got us. You got us. Right? Total manipulation.
That's it. That's the scandal. And we're gonna, and we suck. You're right. We suck. Because here's the thing. The transparency going forward, if and when we ever do this again, I will be much more willing to help out. Because Diane, you know, doesn't ask me for anything on this channel. She asks me for nothing. She asks me to show up. That's it. She wants nothing from me. She doesn't make me work for this channel. She doesn't make me... And you know what? Listen, I understand this is going to go out to the community. That's fine. We're going to learn real quick which people really love Diane and support that.
More manipulation. Okay, there's your emotional bind. Okay, now we're going to learn who really loves Diane, because if you really love her, right, you'll believe this version that I'm selling you. If you don't really love her, like, how can she put people in that position? If you don't really love her, you don't really love her if you want to see the receipts or you're not okay with this explanation. Can you see how they do that? You know the type of people that do that? Narcissistic people. Narcissistic people. I am mind blown. Why are you using manipulation tactics on your own people? Why?
And which ones really don't. And that's okay too. That really is...
And which ones really don't. And that's okay too. That's okay too. You know, trying to come across like they're being reasonable, right? After you've just totally head screwed someone with that emotional bind that you've put them in. Because you're telling them, if they want to ask any questions, if they want to see the receipts, if they don't quite believe that this version is okay and it sits well with them, you've equaled that to mean that they don't really love you two. And you both are aware that you have a lot of people in your chat that have codependency issues and issues of all kinds, all right? You're both quite aware of the people in your chat and how they idealize these you two as influencers, and you are taking full advantage of them. Full advantage of them. And this explains to me why I haven't seen Wendy doing any grieving, any questioning, giving any transparency. This explains why we haven't, because she doesn't feel there's a need and she doesn't feel anything about it. She's clearly not bothered. This is how she feels about it. No one's there got a gun to her head, and there she is pumping all them subscribers and members with that version of the truth. It doesn't matter that we used money where it shouldn't have gone, right? Because if you really love Diane, you'll stick with us. If you don't, you won't. That's not what love is. Do you know what? Love is healthy. It doesn't happen over sitting a month in streams with strangers across the globe. It doesn't happen in 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. Healthy love, right? This is the mistake we make as human beings. Attachment, infatuation, and addiction can happen with people. instantaneously, right? Love takes time to grow, right? We often, as adults, mistake feelings of attachment that we have towards other people as being love. We mistake infatuation when we really look up to someone. We mistake the infatuation as being love. And some of us have addictive personalities where we are addicted to how the other person makes us feel. And we often mistake that addiction to that other person as being love. It isn't love. She has no business bringing love into this. Love in this is irrelevant. It's about honesty and transparency, not brainwashing and manipulating your subscribers.
Telling you, I'm in such a place right now, there is no hard feelings. Because I'm part of the problem. I'm part of the people that used to sit up and go, every single time goes to St. Jude, la la la, you know. I have no business saying that. The hell am I doing?
This is what we heard her say when she came out. And from the off, it was odd. I even mentioned it in a video I did. How it was strange that she was trying to place the blame on herself for putting the expectation on Diane, right? And now I know where she got that spiel from, because she was repeating it to these lot behind the scenes before she came out and said it to the rest of us.
And I've done it. I've done it tons of times. And Diane said it too. Sure. We all have.
Well, of course you've told everybody that 100% of their money was going to St. Jude. Of course you've told everybody, because that's what you were supposed to be doing, right? That's what you were supposed to be doing.
And I remember streams where we did donate specifically to St. Jude, and all that money went there, and Diane, would share the receipt, and we would celebrate and all of that. And
you know what's annoying, right? You can't ever tell someone that they're being manipulated, right? You can't tell them, because people don't see it until they're ready to see it. And a lot of people on YouTube are easily manipulated because they don't practice mindfulness, right? Mindfulness, as whatever it may sound, is one of your best friends, because if you're mindful of things and what you're doing and how you feel and how another person is coming across and how that other person is making you feel, right? If you are mindful, you can spot manipulation. And obviously if you know your red flags. But if you aren't mindful as you're going into these rooms and making friends with all these different people that are strangers, you just suck in what they're telling you without questioning. And that's the problem. They're just believing without the questioning. And because we're not mindful, because a lot of the time we're literally walking around with our heads in our phones, thinking about everything else, we're not being conscious of what's going on in front of us in the here and now. And that's how a lot of manipulation gets past us. That's how a lot of it gets past us. Even if I was to say to people, I find her manipulative. I know when I've said it about Randy in the past, people have just been literally like, whatever, you're mental, right? You are mental. That's the most frustrating thing about seeing manipulation. You can't make the person who's being manipulated see it. You're the one that looks crazy. So you just have to shut up and let time take its course. There's nothing you can do. And hearing this, for me, it's triggering and frustrating. Listening to what these people are being told, being spoon-fed behind the scenes, because you see, they've got that adoration, right? Oh, we really love you, and they believe that they do. They probably won't believe it's attachment or infatuation, because they're impressed with them or they think that they're really good people. They'll probably believe that they do love Diane and Wendy, right? As a duo that come out every week and that entertain them in their own homes, right? Bring them comfort. They turn on the channel when they're going through a bad time. These two are always there, and that's the problem. That's the problem, because if you're not mindful, right, you don't notice the red flags and you don't see the bad behaviour, and you're not aware that you're being manipulated. And these people, in my opinion, are being manipulated.
Over the course of all this time, I've purposely not asked her.
I've purposely, over the course of this time, not asked her. Why would you purposely not ask your friend to see a receipt to know it went to St. Jude? Purposely. So did you feel that you couldn't? Is that why it was purposeful? Is that why?
because it's not my business, A, and I...
It's not my business. Well, you're only a wrench and an admin, weren't you? And the main co-host. I mean, it's not like you were the second on the list. You were the main co-host. It was the Diane and Wendy show, wasn't it? Diane and Wendy. With Tuesday and Friday or Tuesday and Thursday, whatever.
I just didn't want to believe anything other than, yes, of course, everything we give. But it's so unfair.
I didn't want to believe that everything was going there. This is so unfair. It's so unfair. Who's it unfair to, Wendy? You, because you've just found out that it all wasn't going there and that you should have been questioning it. Who's it unfair to? Why is it unfair to you? Why is it unfair to Diane? Is it unfair because you both got rumbled? Diane specifically. Is that why it's unfair? Because now you can see what you've sat over there with and it's all crumbling down around you. You know full well what happens to St. Jude scammers on YouTube. You only need to look at Tucker. Dead channel. The only people in that channel, trolls. Same way Diane's is going to go, mark my words.
Yes, you're right. That's so unfair. Who puts that on somebody? How can she live up to that?
How could she live up to what? Transferring money out of a YouTube account to St. Jude, right? Anyone would think we were forcing Diane to find the cure to cancer herself, right? She didn't even need to leave her seat. It was all done electronically. And you're calling it unfair? The woman doesn't work, does she? Eh? I mean, she can go live morning, noon and night. At the drop of a dime, that woman's live. So she was struggling, was she, transferring money from Super Chat to St. Jude? I mean, it's the click of a button. It's done in less than a minute. Wow, yeah, I can see she had lots of hard work there. Quite the struggle, wasn't it, pressing a couple of buttons on a keyboard? Why is she playing this down?
She puts hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars into her channel to give to you.
Hang on.
Okay? We should all be so lucky. We give. But it's so unfair. It is. You're right. That's so unfair. Who puts that on somebody? How can she live up to that?
Who puts that on somebody? How can she live up to that? She put it on her, Wendy. She did. In fact, you both did. You both did. You both enjoyed sitting up there, ripping people to shreds and telling everybody, we're so wonderful because all our super chat money, we don't touch a dime. It all goes to St. Jude. Aren't we wonderful because we care about sick children?
She's the queen. She's the posse. She's the dead. She puts hundreds and hundreds and thousands.
She's the queen. She's the posh. She's this. Right? The queen of drama was recent, all right? You're making out like she's been carrying this crown around for the last 4 years and it's been weighing heavily on her shoulders doing that. Like it's been some huge, great big burden. First off, Wendy, the crown wasn't real. It was virtual. There was no weight, right? And queen of drama, right? You don't really need to live up to much except be a tosser all the time. That's it. And be dramatic and full of drama and chaos. She loved it. She was doing it before she got the crown.
Into her channel to give to you.
What?
She's the queen. She's the posse. She's the dead. She puts hundreds and hundreds and thousands of dollars into her channel to give to you.
Hundreds and hundreds and thousands of dollars she puts into her channel to give to you. Receipts for that, please, because we don't see any. Receipts. Liar. You are manipulating them people.
We should all be so lucky.
Oh, this hair. Why does this hair always go in my eye?
I agree. A lot of us, I know everybody that I've talked to supports this. A lot of she lied. I lied. Not every single penny goes.
And I just want to make it clear, these people in the background, I have no fight or issue with. Anything that they say in this, right? I am not going to be judging anything about that. They are being fed crap and sheer manipulation.
St. Jude, that's it. That's the scandal. Everybody knows now. Let's just tell everyone.
Rewind.
She lied. I lied. Not every single penny goes to St. Jude. That's it. That's the scandal. Everybody knows now. Let's just tell everyone so they can know.
You see how she like tries to pass that out, right? You know, that's what we did. Like, it's all about feeling bad for them that they did what they did, right? Totally narcissistic. Totally narcissistic. Feel bad for me while I'm admitting what I did wrong. No. We're all grown adults, right? Boundaries. You're admitting something you did wrong and taking accountability and being responsible for your actions. I don't need to feel sorry for you. That's a good thing to do. That's a healthy thing to do. That's what you should do, right? It doesn't require me, right, to feel sorry for you for doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing. You're being honest and transparent. Well, as much as we can get. Why are you selling the undertone of feel sorry for us because we've been pushed into this position to have to tell these people that we didn't send all of it to St. Jude? This is disturbing, is what this is.
And get it fucking over with.
Get it over with.
Right, and some people will call it a lie, and some people will not call it a lie. And those people will be our people. And if trust has been broken, it's up.
So if you don't call it a lie, Wendy, this manipulation is quite disgusting, right? If you call it a lie, which it is a lie, because for 52 weeks out of a year, and 3 of those years passed by, she sat up there on her throne, right? Her throne of hell, and told people, everything you super chat me goes to St. Jude. Now we find out 3 years down the line, after she's done that, every week out of every year that's passed by, now we find out that she's kept some money. But if people believe that we lied about it, they're not our people. Total manipulation, because you're telling people how to think about it. And if they think you told a lie, you aren't even giving them the option to acknowledge that you did tell a lie and possibly forgive you and still be cool with you further down the line. You are deciding how they need to see this according to you both. Yes, that is manipulation. Yes, it is. It is toxic.
Us to win it back. Or not. How much money are we talking here?
Good question.
There's no one's business. Remember how I said no totals of anything will be... Or not. How much money are we talking here? There's no one's business. Remember how I said no totals of anything will be... No totals.
No totals. Someone asks, how much money are we talking? Right? Good question. How much money are we talking? No, we're not telling you. No totals. And then she says, remember, no totals. No totals for anything.
No laws have been broken. No laws.
No laws have been broken. No laws have been broken. Oh, right. Because there's things you can do that aren't necessarily breaking the law, but they're immoral. They're cruel. They're abusive. They're toxic. They're nasty. They're mean. They're bullying. The things, right? Not everything you can do bad or wrong is against the law, right? But that doesn't mean that because it's not against the law, it's still okay to do it, right? And she's here spinning this as no laws have been broken. So, lying to the people makes this okay according to Wendy. All right? That's Wendy that you're hearing there, not Diane, Wendy.
Because
now I know why she was so quiet over on that channel and quick to move on. Now I know why. I couldn't get my answers and fill the spaces in what I understood. Now they're all filled in. I see you. I see you.
She'll talk about that tomorrow. But let me just say this. All money allocated to St. Jude went to St. Jude, plus more.
Back with this line. All the money that was supposed to go to St. Jude, that was allocated for St. Jude, went to St. Jude, plus more. But yeah, we took some. Yeah, we kept some. And we're not going to give you the totals. More sketch, more chaos, more confusion, and more, guess what? Non-transparency. Just going to have to pause you again. We're back.
Of anything will be no totals. No laws have been broken. No laws. Because she'll talk about that tomorrow. But let me just say this. All money allocated to St. Jude went to St. Jude, plus more. That's the point, yes. Please, this isn't a case where nothing went. Oh my God, please remember that. Please. It cost.
This isn't a case of no money went. Please remember that. Remember that point more than you remember the fact that not all of it that was supposed to go went and we kept some. That's what she means. Remember that. More than what you remember about the portion, however big that was, that didn't get there.
Money to run a channel. Yes. It does. Especially when Diane puts what she puts into her channel. Exactly. And gives out to the rest of the community. And I told Diane, I said, you know, the problem is that I wish I wish I could have been more supportive earlier than this.
So, Wendy is saying she wishes she'd have been more supportive to Diane before this. Right. Well, you just said before that you purposely didn't ask her about anything to do with the money because you purposely didn't. That's all you said. But now you're saying that you wish you'd have been more supportive. Those two don't go together. There's just issues with both of them because if you were both as close as you made out, first you wouldn't have been purposely not asking normal healthy questions. And as you say, Wendy, you always have questions. And second, you would have been supportive because you were a friend, and that's just what friends are, they're supportive.
I'm sorry. You didn't really know.
I'm sorry. Well, you didn't really know. Like, you didn't really know. She didn't really know because she purposely didn't want to know. That's what she said earlier. She purposely didn't ask questions.
But I should have. So...
She's turning that into a woe is me. Pity me. This is all my fault. I feel so bad. Console me. And forget about the fact that money's gone missing. Those people, and I don't care whether they see it or not, or whatever it is, whether they believe me or not, those people in there are being manipulated. And it isn't. As yet, by Diane.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. Should have. It's an impossible standard to make someone, and like she's my little puppet, I'm playing games with her.
It's an impossible standard. Again, what, Wendy? What's an impossible standard? Expecting that your friend, after saying that is what she would do, presses a button that sends super chat money directly to a charity. That was too high of a standard. No, it wasn't too high of a standard. Too high of a standard, right, would have been something a lot grander than requiring she clicks a couple of buttons on her keyboard to send money to a charity that looks after sick children, like she promised the people she would, all right? That's not a high standard, okay? How is it a high standard? So, what, you consider pressing buttons a high standard? Funny, because she's pressing buttons the whole time when she's in comment sections going off, or behind the scenes in DMs, or ranting in Discord, eh? She's got all the time in the world to be talking disgusting about people, dragging them, putting them down, embarrassing them, right, all over. But it was too high of a standard that I expected my friend to send the money where she was supposed to send it. Why are you covering up for her? Why?
It's just not true, I know, but it's like, you know, I'm like, look at her, Diane, and look what she does for us. And she plans us parties, and she plans us, you know, Christmas. She does Christmas for us, and she...
You do all that to her, bigging her up, because you and this is only in my opinion, you idealise her, because you've learned that when you do that, things go well for you. So you play along, in my opinion. I think it's twin-sided manipulation. It's from both sides, the manipulation. You and Diane. I think you both manipulated each other up until now.
Just like, that's not her job. That's not her responsibility, but she does. Diane, what would you like from your...
That's not her job, but she does it. Well, she kind of made it her job the first time she got in front of her audience and told them all that if you were super chat me, guys, I'm going to send it to St. Jude. Yeah. Super chat me, I'm going to send it to St. Jude. She kind of made it her job to do that. Okay? So now it's everybody else's fault that Diane gave herself this incredibly high standard, apparently, and made it into a job having to send money to St. Jude. So it's all our fault, right? Because this became like a job for her. And us expecting her to do it was too high of an expectation. That's what she's just said.
For my community, I think I have it. My community, my people, I hate to say the word, $250,000 is absurd. $150,000 is absurd. I asked a really important question. Not you. I'm sorry. You'll get the answer, but I needed to. I'm so sorry. Please. Forgive me. I'm being horrible right now because this has been a lot. So just please give me the chance to apologize. I'm so sorry. You're good, honey. You're good. Okay, we're good.
See, when people act like that, it compels your audience to soothe you and try to comfort you, right? When people do what she just did there, right? Because that person was trying to ask an important question about how much money, right? And she swiftly changes the subject and makes it again into another pity party and inspiring people to feel bad for her. Like, because acting like that, it beckons people to be reassuring and to try and comfort you. And that's what she's doing.
This is really not, I don't, the question was, what do I want from my community?
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, from us. Okay. Well, I think I'm getting everything that I have been getting and wanting, which is support. You have to understand, Shauna, that the people who support me have always supported me. The people who have super chatted me have always super chatted me. They're consistent. When I went into my YouTube creator studio to look at every single super chat that I've ever received, they're not from strangers. They're not from these phantom people who claim that they gave me super chats. Right. If that was so, they'd be sending me email after email and saying, I want to see a receipt.
I know of 4 people independently that are friends that have emailed her with receipts asking for their money back, and she hasn't responded to one email. Not one of them. She only responded to the big spenders that we had, and that was MGL and Lady Beekeeper. These are the 4 people. They were like smaller amounts, possibly $50 to $100, maybe even less than 50, some of them, maybe like $30, right? But they found out that the money hadn't gone to where it was, so they were going to get the money back and directly deposit it with St. Jude. She ignored all those emails.
You know how many people did that? It doesn't matter though, Diane. Listen, honestly, it doesn't matter, right? What I'm saying is,
there she is again trying to cover it up, right? It doesn't matter, because she's like, you're going to get onto this now and tell them even more stuff. So it doesn't matter, like, shush. The same way Randy is on panel.
That's right. And they will still support me. I only care about the people who support me. Right. I owe nothing to strangers who are coming at me for nothing more than a witch hunt.
See, here's the argument with this, right? If you witness somebody in the street being hurt, right, or somebody has been knocked over, or you witness a mother abusing her child in public, or you hear a load of violence next door and you can hear somebody screaming, or you witness somebody knock a little old lady over, or you witness somebody mistreating their dog, these want you to believe that if it doesn't concern you, you have no business getting involved. As far as I'm concerned, if you witness an injustice and stay silent, right, you're a prick. you're a prick. See something, say something. Isn't that our worldly, like a universal mantra that everybody says? If you see something, say something, right? Silence is complicity. If I watch a mother abuse her child and I say nothing, I'm complicit with that to go on, right? If somebody has taken money that was meant for sick children at a charity and I stay silent watching that go on, right? I'm complicit in letting something happen that I know is wrong and doing nothing to try and stop it. And for most things, it only requires your voice to do something, right? It doesn't mean that you have to get involved or start doxing or start trying to harass people or bully them or whatever, right? But using your voice to call something out, I think it's a part of all our individual integrity and humanity, right? She has taken money meant for sick children, spent it on God only knows what, and doesn't want people to question it. She wants, and she considers anybody. See, you look at the emotional binds they're putting you in, right? If you don't believe our version of it, that yes, we did take some, but that's okay. And if anybody asks amounts, that means you're not supporting us. And the way she words it here, where she's saying, my supporters, I don't know, don't want to see receipts. They don't, my supporters don't need to ask me anything. Like, it's a total head trip. She's gaslighting the person or trying to condition the people into not doing the right thing, but making it right. That's what she's doing. But she wants, for me, to subdue the people, and she wants people to back away, to go quiet, to stop asking questions. Because if you were a healthy person and you were giving money to charity, right, and you were doing everything honestly, you would welcome questions. It's important people recognise that. Look at Gray Hughes if you want, right? Go and ask him a question. Go and ask other YouTubers that do donate to charity or other people that give to charity. They will answer your questions. And from the start that this is, from the start of this kicking off, she has had an issue with people asking questions. The only people that don't like you asking questions are people with something to hide. Period. End of story. Think about it. Why wouldn't you want somebody to ask you questions if you've done everything honestly and you've nothing to hide? She keeps using the line that if these people are only asking questions because they don't like me. No, like, everyone in our community is worth the same. We're all equal to each other, and there's nobody higher or lower than anybody else. Well, that's how it should be, right? And anybody that would have been collecting money in our community and advertising the fact that 100% of it goes to St. Jude, if they were genuinely doing it, they would welcome you to ask questions. They wouldn't tell you that you're not allowed to ask them anything. She doesn't want anybody asking questions because she's got stuff to hide. She's spinning this around. And all this with the live stream, I think I figured out what she's doing with the keep messing us about the receipts. She's future faking, right? Narcissists or narcissistic type people, they will tell you that such and such is going to happen, right? But it's to appease and subdue you and keep you from flipping out or leaving or, you know, walking away. So they will future fake. Say, like, if you're in a relationship with one, they'll keep talking about getting engaged or keep talking about marriage. Or if you're just in a relationship with one and, like, you never seem to do anything with each other, when you get to the point where you're ready for leaving, suddenly it'll be, yeah, well, we can go on holiday. Yeah, well, we can have nights out. Yeah, well, we can do this and we can do that. And it never happens. And it's called future faking. And I believe that is what she's doing with the receipts and this, because she actually went live today out of the blue going nuts. She called me out. She called MJ out. She called a few other people out. I think Stella was another one. There was a few people. There was quite a list, right? And it was an impromptu live, and she was, how she usually is on those impromptu lives, quite abusive, nasty, mean, and angry. People, she was saying, people have been contacting her partner, Bob, and she was threatening Laura, I believe, with the Attorney General. I didn't hear that myself, but that's the word on the street. That live today again, she mentioned in the live that she's got to get things together and she will be coming back live to present it all to us. She's got things to show us. And for me, I predict it's just more future faking. There's nothing to show. There's nothing to show. There's nothing she can show. And what would take a month to get together if you'd been sending money legitimately to St. Jude and you don't have no job, you've no children? What's taken all this time? It's just, I'm telling you, it's a Tucker 2.0 situation.
Channel, it's your money, you do what you want. Everybody donated to you. Yes, you did say that you were going to give it to St. Jude. Yes, all of it. We said every penny, but that was my fault. You have. Look at me say that. Why am I
Look at her again, piping in. Somebody's trying to talk to Diane, and she, yeah, well, that was my fault, that was my fault, that was my fault. It feels like to me that she's really trying to ramp this angle home to people. You know, it was my fault, it was my fault. Because then people are busy dishing out empathy and sympathy to her, and they're distracted from what they should be focused on. Okay, for me, this is more diversion, more distraction, more deflection away, more misdirection away from what the actual issue is, and keeping their supporters on side.
You know, that's my fault. That's my fault.
Think about it, right? When we come to a normal conversation, right? When we come as grown-ups, as healthy-minded adults, when we come to a conversation, you have a conversation, and you should be able to have a conversation without being abusive, aggressive, without humiliating, grandstanding, taunting, mocking, mimicking, all of those toxic things, right? But also, the difference between a healthy individual and someone that's possibly toxic is I should be able to explain to you what I'm not happy with without guilt tripping you, without making you feel like you have to walk on eggshells when you respond, without using pity, without using any of those kind of tactics that are going to cause you to feel a certain way, right? When we communicate with each other, we should be able to talk without making the other person responsible for how we feel, or make them think that they're responsible for how we feel. Because, like I spoke about in some of my videos, it's actually think before you feel. We don't get to blame other people for how we feel, right? So all of this, oh, but it was my fault, it was my fault, it was my fault. Look, if you're ever in a situation or a conversation and you are consciously giving out loads of empathy and feeling bad and lots of sympathy, and it really feels like over and over again you're constantly having to give this person empathy, and you'll know because you'll feel drained, there's something wrong. And there's something wrong with this conversation. And there she gets the reassurance she wants. Wendy, stop beating yourself up over this. And then Diane's there. Yeah, well, I've told her.
Listen, no, listen, please. Please. Oh, God, that's so fucking rude.
And then she's there with the self-deprecation. See, covert narcissists, funnily enough, use self-deprecation, because what it does is, like, they will put themselves down because it automatically prompts, especially people-pleasing types, fixers and codependents, to reassure them and boost them and give them a compliment. Self-deprecation is a huge red flag. And she uses it a lot. I'm just fast forwarding that bit a bit.
The book, like, it's ridiculous. She gives her money away, or puts it back into the community, or keeps it. Fuck it. She can do what she wants with it. No one else has to take an accounting of what they do with their money. Okay, that's what exactly my point before. Exactly my point. I'm not asking anyone to speak on my behalf. Let me get that clear. That's right. No,
so she says there, fuck it, it's her money. That's her attitude. Different attitude when she came out though, wasn't it? Totally different. Now I know why she was sheepish when she did come out, because things were off with her. I don't know how other people didn't notice it. But I'm going to have to stop this because we're nearly getting on for 20 minutes again, and I will be back with the rest of this. See you soon.